Mm-hmm.
I'll have to give it back to him, I suppose.
What do you mean?
Well, I reckon he's already had it back once from Richard's dad. So he's doubled it.
The old rogue.
Morning, you two. I was just coming down to invite you to dinner. You can help me eat my pheasants.
We'd love to.
Well, next week, the annual fun fair comes to Aidensfield, causing lots of fun for Nick. That's in Heartbeat at the same time next week here on Carlton.
To their families, of course, all babies are special. But some are very special babies, and their stories are told on Tuesday at 8:30 on Carlton.
6995 on the road. Let's see. Well, no hidden cost then. A bargain.
The Fiesta Azura is also available on 0% finance. For more details, contact your Thames area Ford dealer.
What does Wash and Go do that your ordinary shampoo doesn't?
Got me.
It conditions, so your hair is less flyaway and more likely to do what you want it to.
Conditioners do that?
Sure they do. Give it a try. Take this new Wash and Go. It works in 2 stages. Shampoo and the conditioner is held away. Rinse and the conditioner gets busy. So your hair is more than just clean, it's easier to manage too.
You know, I think I could get used to this.
New Wash and Go, great hair, no fuss.
Which fabric conditioner has a softness that feels this good against your skin? Everybody feels good in Lenor.
Did you know that as well as Ultra, Always also make a regular towel? Always, Ultra and new regular.
Introducing new recipe Pedigree Chum Complete. With even more meat, even more taste, and now even more variety. You can see the difference. Meat protein for muscle, cereals for energy, and even sunflower oil for a glossy coat. And all the essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium for strong teeth and bones. Supreme nourishment with a great meaty taste. New recipe Pedigree Chum Complete.
House of Fraser's summer sale ends Saturday. Most sale items will be reduced by a further 10% this Friday and Saturday. Some now have as much as 60% off.
A weak man, a psychotic woman, and the victim. An instant attraction. A fatal mistake. A conclusion to be screened for the very first time.
Are you? You're my word. Disagree.
You'd better be. Fatal Attraction, Monday at 9 on Carlton. Metroland, real-life stories blurring fantasy and reality from the big city. And the big city's happening when you want to rave. It's the up-to-date guide to entertainment in the capital, whatever your taste. Metroland at 10:40, Big City at 11:10, tonight on Carlton.
Well, I can tell you that in tonight's edition of Big City, Paul and Carolyn will be visiting various wine bars and clubs around London to check out the glamorous new drag scene. That's in just over the hour. This is Carlton, now the national and international news.
From ITN News at 10 with Trevor MacDonald.
Chancellor's dramatic climb down over share options. All change below decks for the cross-channel ferries. Life sentence for the man who murdered Rosie. And what made the test umpire really lose his cool? Good evening. The Chancellor, Kenneth Clarke, was forced into an undignified retreat today on boardroom fat cats and executive share options. 10 days ago, on July 17th, he announced he was about to tax profits from share options as income. There were protests when it emerged that the change would hit modestly paid people the hardest, but the Chancellor insisted the tax would stay. Tonight, a flustered Mr. Clarke announced it would apply only to options granted after July the 17th. Our political editor Michael Brunston reports on an astonishing climb down.
First, the Chancellor said there's no need for any change. Then the CBI's Greenbrick Committee, with the Prime Minister saying tell us what to do on top people's pay, said change things, make executive share options liable for income tax. All right, said the Chancellor on the morning of July the 17th, I'll do it. Oh dear, said thousands of ordinary employees suddenly liable for tax. And making his exasperation clear, Sir Richard Greenbrick told MPs, I personally think Clarke's got it wrong. So now the Chancellor is going to let those already in the schemes before July the 17th go back to the more favourable old capital gains system. All a terrible mess, surely.
Not on my part, it's not. But what I've done is listen to representations and accepted what I do think is the quite persuasive point that people had expectations when they already had options and they should be taxed under the old arrangement. I've listened, I've acted on that, and I've clarified again the original decision, which I think stands and which does not affect all the people the newspapers describe as the little cats who are overwhelmingly in other types of share option scheme.
In Edinburgh, Labour's Gordon Brown said the fat cats would escape after all.
The Chancellor could easily have distinguished between people at the very top and people who were in all employee share schemes, and he hasn't done that. As usual with the Conservatives, when they try and sort out a problem, the people who are left off the hook are the people who have been responsible for the major abuses and excesses.
The Liberal Democrats reacted badly too, but haven't conditions changed?
Well, conditions have changed, but really you can't have a Chancellor who's now been bounced 3 times on major tax changes, doesn't seem to have a clear tax policy of his own, and doesn't think things through.
And what of the so-called little cats? Some in schemes like those at Asda supermarkets will escape tax after all.
I'm obviously pleased that I'm not going to be taxed anymore. Yeah, that's good news.
Everybody's relieved now that, they're not going to be taxed, because that's all what they've been waiting for.
But with people who now join being taxed, one employer thinks such schemes are largely doomed.
In fact, it is totally extraordinary that one of the great successes, which is wider share ownership, is now being put at risk or put into reverse by the Chancellor's decisions as they stand now.
The Chancellor would argue that other schemes are unaffected by his chopping